time. Today I'm doing actually this cut that is actually using the Sculpt gel, and basically you get three parts, A, B, and C, and I'm mixing here A and B in order to get like a skin-like texture, and it's basically like an extension to the skin that you can later cut, and it looks totally natural if you're really careful to blend out the edges as far as possible, because you don't want any bumps or raises except for the part where you actually want to do the cut. Everything else needs to be smoothed out perfectly in order to get that skin-like look, and it makes it look a little bit more realistic. Once you have the A and B part well mixed and applied to the skin, you gotta let it dry a little bit. I used a bit of a help from the blow dryer just because the heat kind of helps it dry faster. And then it looks a little bit shiny. That's why I used a little bit of surgical spritz or like alcohol just to kind of dehydrate the mask, and it looks a little bit more matte. And then I'm going to use this alcohol activated colors from Kylan, and I'm actually using a sponge and the skin tone color just to kind of blend out the edges to make it look a little bit more natural. And I'm not bothering about the middle part because later I'm going to be applying some bruise gel to make it look even more natural. So now I'm just using like a really sharp spatula to create the tears in the skin, and then I just went over with a little bit more foundation just to blend it in. Even you can see it's not perfect because I know I'm later going to be adding more color, so it didn't really matter. So I just created all the cuts I wanted to do in the mask, and then I'm actually using some fake blood to fill in the gaps or the cuts to make it look more realistic as an injury. But I'm also going to use something a little bit later that you're going to see in a bit. It's actually called like a scratch filler. There it is. And it's also from Kylan, and it comes in a lot of different shades. For this one, I'm using a dark red. You're going to see on some other tutorials I'm going to be uploading very soon that I use some other shades as well to make it look more realistic. But because I wanted this to look very kind of older and deep, that just keeps bleeding, I actually just used the darker shade. And then I just used the arterial blood. I had a few different kinds of blood. I used the arterial one because it's super red, just to kind of smear it around the cuts and make it look more natural. It sounds so weird, but I'm saying natural when looking like at a really disgusting injury, but it doesn't matter. And then, just play around with it to use as much blood as you want or as little, because I'm going to do like a cut later on the neck. I didn't want to do anything too crazy. I just wanted it kind of to look like a bullet hole.